Hello, Brittany Parker. It has been way too long since I have done a full video just chit-chatting and putting on my makeup. So that's what we're going to do today. I've been busy. I've been trying the whole reel thing, and it's been a learning curve. Okay, people? I couldn't do both. So, like I said, it's been a while. I just put on my Seint cream. This is the moisturizer I swear by. It's so thick and so good, so hydrating. And I would use it every single day. It works really well with my Seint makeup. So this is Seint. It is a 3D cream foundation. All these little tins are magnetic. I have a triple decker palette, but instead of having to like dig through your makeup bag, like 60% of time is just trying to find what you're looking for, right? It's all in one beautiful palette. And there's so many colors, designs, sizes. Look at this big guy. This one's so beautiful. Love it. They're all magnetic. All 100% customizable to what you want. I even have a palette that I keep in my purse. Just this little guy. I need to put it my new lip and cheek, whatever I'm wearing today. But this is what Seint Cream Foundation is. And lotions that have silicone or any kind of primer that you're going to use, you don't want silicone. Did I say that backwards? The creams and the silicones don't work well together. And so if you start using your Seint makeup and it's starting to look like it's breaking up, like at the end of the day, you might have a problem with your prep. That your primer, which you don't have to have one, your moisturizer, it might have some kind of form of silicone, like the word cone at the end of it. You might need to try a new one. That is what happened to me. When I first started, I was wearing IT Cosmetics. And I thought I had checked, and maybe it didn't even have silicone, but it just wasn't working really well with the makeup. As soon as I stopped wearing it, using that lotion, my makeup stayed a whole lot better. So there's a lot of trial and error. If you notice things aren't working, it doesn't mean that, oh, I'm done. Just maybe try a few different things. This is Super Goop. This is the SPF I use. I like the matte screen. They also have a glow screen. As I get more dry into the winter, I might switch back to the glow screen. You know, it's definitely more dewy looking. But I really like both of them. They are like a different, I think the matte is 100% mineral. I really like it. It's like very soft on the skin. Okay, I'm gonna let that soak in. This is Seint's Solstice. It comes in a tin. It came out during, I think, Mother's Day in this cute little tin, but it also now is in like an actual tin that you can place inside of your palette. So I like both, but start softening those up. You have the option of using, this is a really good one. It's a cheap, affordable one. The Hydro, is it Hydro Milk? I should know this. Also has one, but it's kind of like a dupe for it. Or you could even take your setting spray. Where's my Seint one? Either of these, and you can just dab it on with a perfector sponge, or just spray it into your hands and kind of rub it on, especially for this one. I don't like the nozzle as much, but this one I would just spray on, and it kind of helps to prime your face. If you're more oily, or if you want extra long wear, you're gonna be outside in the heat or in the cold, whatever. You have different options. Today, I'm just home with my sick son. So I'm not gonna do any of it. Okay, but let's go ahead and get started. Today I'm gonna use a couple of brushes. I love the brushes. But let's go over which ones. If you're gonna start, where would you start? If you're gonna get one single brush, I would get this guy. This is the 3D brush. It is a perfect beginner brush. It's gonna do mostly everything what you need. It has a good applicator for your highlights and for your blending. And then this side, you can get into your smaller spots. So one brush, the 3D brush. But if you're going to get two brushes, you're going to be like a splurge. I would not get the 3D brush, and I would get, oh my gosh, I need to clean these brushes. Look at this. That's your sign that you need to clean your brush. I would get the detail brush. This guy is one of my very favorite. He is a perfect stamp And it gets just the contour so beautiful. And I really like, Jack, quiet babe, I really like this smaller end for all my small areas on my face. But when I'm blending and putting on my other highlights or my blush and my bronzer, this guy. And this is going to give you a medium and to a light coverage. And this is also like a medium coverage. I really like this as a pair. I use all of them though. I use all of them. I even use my buff brush and I even use my blend brush. But look at Seint's brushes. They're beautiful. They're all double-ended. And so it's really getting 2 brushes for the price of 1. They're fantastic. And speaking of needing to clean my brushes, I'm actually going to clean my one brush because I'm waiting for my makeup to go on anyways. But can you guys believe it's literally November 1st? Actually today, November 2nd. That's how out of it I am. Like I said, my son is sick. We've had a couple long nights. Anyways, I am ready for Thanksgiving break already. I have the next few weeks so absolutely crazy in school, report cards, assessments, parent-teacher conferences. And so I have a lot to do. So I'm trying not to like freak out, you know, but all is okay. Let's get started. So I'm going to start with my face. All of this is my 3D foundation. I have a few extra highlights just as I go in between my winter and my summer color, and an extra brightener that I don't use too often. I have 2 contours. You really just need one. But like I said, I'm going in between my summer and actually losing my tan so fast. And then I have a bronzer. Actually, I have 2 bronzers and my rose gold illuminator. You really, if you were going to get this, there would only be 2 highlights, a contour, a bronzer, and a lip and cheek. Okay, that's more like a whole full face, but you really can get just 4. That is the most basic startup. And if you do that, like I said, you'd probably get the 3D brush, 2 highlights, contour, and a lip and cheek. Do you have to be overwhelmed and be like, what do I get? No, you're going to send me a color match photo. Just take a selfie like this. I'm in front of a window about 2 to 3 steps back. No makeup, no nothing. It's good to see from the top of your forehead, even your hair, and your neck. So I can kind of make sure I can color match you. And you just take that selfie and you send it to me. Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, all of those are actually probably the easiest. It's easier to talk back and forth. And then I'll get you started. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to go ahead into my contour. I'm actually into olive. This is my more fall winter contour. And contour is ashier. It's cooler. It's mimicking the natural shadows we already have on our face. And so before I even put anything else on, I have natural shadows here on my cheeks right there. Natural shadows along my nose. We have a natural shadow down our jaw. And so that's all we're doing. We're just creating that 3D dimensional look that our faces naturally have. If we went and put on a regular foundation, a liquid or a powder, you are literally making your face one flat color. And that's not. Look, we have dark areas and bright areas. So our face is not one color. And so that's the beauty of Seint. You use all of these colors to give yourself just a more defined and dimensional look that we naturally have. That's why it's a more natural makeup system. And you can go as natural as no makeup you as you want, or as glam as you want. I mean, I prefer a cheek. I like it. Do you have to do as much as I do? No. It is totally buildable. You start light, especially if you're new, and then kind of start playing around with it. There is a learning curve with anything new. There's always some type of learning curve. And I feel like I just learn more and more as time goes on. And I learn what works for my skin. I'm like, oh, that didn't work so well today. And I try something else. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. And I find it and it's kind of exciting. So if you need help with that though, you're like, I have no idea how to like help with this spot. Send me a picture and I could totally reach out and help you. Okay, I'm putting just a little bit of my Sandy, my darker highlight on my nose. I just have some discoloration on there. And before I contour my nose, I'm gonna do it. Okay, so I went along my forehead down the sides of my cheek. You kind of can feel it right here at the top of your ear. And if I would place a brush right there, that is the angle. That's where you're going to put your contour. It doesn't go in further than the outside of your eye here. And then I went along the bottom here of my jaw. You can kind of come in front of your ear because our jaw doesn't go straight back. It curves, and that's what's going to give you more definition by kind of bringing it up right here in front of the ear and then bringing it down along the jaw and try to hide these beautiful jowls that are creeping up. Okay, for my nose, this is an extra step. You don't have to. I'm going to take my detail brush and I'm going to tap it on the side. So I'm not going straight down. You do not have to swipe any of these. If you swipe, you're going to pick up way too much. These creams are so pigmented, you don't need a lot, a little. And so yes, they look like these little teeny tiny tins. They last forever. I was talking to my sister about these lip and cheeks. I've had these for almost a year. And look at them. The only one that's a little bit low is my this is my lip conditioner and Frenchie, which I've also used for correcting my dark under eyes. And so it's a color corrector and a lip and cheek. I still have tons in there. So they last a long time. Your highlights, I would say it depends on how heavy you like it. So it could last from anywhere from 2 months if you want more full coverage, all the way to 4 months. So the highlights are really like up to you, like how much and how often you're wearing your makeup. Your contour could be like 6 months, if not longer. Your blushes, the lip and cheeks, like I said, I've had these for almost a year. Your illuminator, at least a year. I mean, you're only putting a little bit on, just the high points, but the upkeep is so much more affordable. This one tin is $16. So all your highlights are just $16 and you can just pop it in and out. So when I run out of this one, I just pop it out and just grab one new tin and place it in. But I'm not having to get it as often as I did all my other makeup because less is more. You're using littler or less product to get, I would say, a better finish. It's so soft and so hydrating. Just the feel is so much different than my liquid. I had to put my old makeup on. I did a reel and it was shocking at how like stiff it made my face. I was like, oh, no. Let's just say I washed my face immediately when that was over. And I went to my creams. Creams are so good, especially if you're mature ladies, you have mature skin, you're dry. Even if you're oily, these creams are going to be your best friend. They move with your skin. They like live with your skin. And so it's not like setting and just sitting and tightening and suffocating your skin, especially like if you're oily, it really, because it's so hydrating, you are not having to overproduce the oils. So there is maybe a couple weeks for your skin to adjust with like whenever you get like a new face wash, a new makeup product, there can be an adjustment period, but once your skin gets acclimated, it's beautiful. I love it. Okay, so there is my contour. Really though, if you're scared and like, I don't know where to start, just put it on. That's my advice. Just put it on. Once you get it on and you kind of blend it out and you're like, oh, I don't know if that looks right, add more. It's buildable. You can refine the look once you have all your creams on. Okay, so there's my contour. It gives me definition, gives me higher cheekbones, smaller forehead, bigger forehead, whatever your issue is. I am now going to go into the 3D brush and I'm going to use this little bunny tail and I'm going to go into my main highlight. My main highlight is closest to my skin. So when I put it on, you might not even see it as well. And I know you've seen probably 100 different ways that people put this on. And you've seen the dots. I'm kind of the girl, I like to put it on a kind of blend as I go. Just kind of like that. You know, some days I do it different. Some days, I do the dot or line method. It's really like up to you how much time you have and how much you want to play. Okay, but that's my main. You could see it is along my beard. you know, along my jaw. I have some redness and I have some discoloration here, so I like to bring it up on my cheeks here. But you notice I did not put it over my contour because this is one layer. This is part of the whole 3D system, using less is more and not piling your makeup on layer upon layer upon layer. I'm making one single layer for my 3D foundation, my 2 highlights and my contour. So that was my main. It's more like what you think of as foundation. I'm going to go back to my detail brush. It's the one that I use for my contour. I'm going to go to the small side. I'm going to go into my brightener. Your brightener is kind of what you think of as your concealer, okay? So it's going to help brighten my face, to enhance it. Would I say to just get it alone? No, because part of the beauty is that the contour and the brightener work together. Their contrast helps to make each one stand out a little bit more, right? You need the light to see the dark to see the light kind of thing. As I go in though, I bring it to the inner corner of my eye. Oops, that was illuminator. The outer corner of my eye. And then I have a lot of discoloration on my eyelid. So whatever is left on my brush, I just kind of sweep it across. Now, if you have a lot of mature skin, you could take it and then bring it to the outside. That's where you would start because the most of the product would be here. And then you would bring it in. And then by the time you got to your more fine lines and wrinkles, you would have less product, but you're still getting that coverage and moving the product to the areas. Just don't start it exactly in your problem areas. So if you have like a lot of pores, I would not get your makeup, tap, 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 and then tap right on it. You're putting the most makeup. I would start like on like your bone here and kind of then bring it to that area, even here, and just kind of bring it up to wherever that problem area is. That is a simple trick to make sure that you don't get too much product. That's like a big beginner's, I don't want to say problem, but an easy to do issue is by putting too much product on your face. That's when it would, you know, look cakey, or it wouldn't even look cakey. It's just too much product on your face. You don't need it. You don't want it. Don't want to be more dewy. You don't want to show texture and fine lines. And so especially if you're a mature lady, this sponge here, the Perfector sponge, is beautiful and such a good tool to help press in the product, but it also helps to pick up extra product. Tip, get it damp first, and then go ahead and do that. You squish it all out. Okay, my brightener is on, other than, look at me just talking. My chin, my Cupid's bow, right here in between my brows. If you have a smaller forehead, you would actually only use your brightener and your contour and totally skip your main highlight on your forehead. Your main highlight's not needed. I have kind of a larger forehead, so that's why I go and I put a thing of main highlight on. But like I said, if you have a smaller forehead, skip the main highlight. Just do your brightener and your contour. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it down my nose. Don't want to flip you off. I always get yelled at that. Voila. Okay, here's the beauty. So this is my 3D cream foundation. I've been talking a lot. That's why this has been taking forever. I apologize. But I'm going to go ahead and blend it out. Okay, so I'm doing stippling motions, the bouncing, and I'm just blending my highlights together. I am not going to go and just do big, huge circles on my face. I placed it paint by number style on my face, and I want to keep that product, my contour here in along my cheekbones, right? I don't want to just like mix it because then I'm going to make just one flat color. Nobody's got time for that. But you can see that I'm staying in my highlight areas first. Still just doing the bouncing. I'll bring it down the sides of my nose. Bring my forehead kind of up. All right. When I get to the contour, I do bring this into my hairline. But I mean, isn't that just like the prettiest look? I think it's so pretty. Just the extra added dimension that contour brings. I love it. Okay. So I did bring this up, my contour up. I'm going to bring, and I'm just going to softly kind of blend this out. I kind of under blend my contour because I'm adding bronzer and lip and cheek and other stuff to it. And I like a cheek. I like some definition. All right. For my nose, I'm just going to kind of pinch this. This is the 3D brush. Same thing about like you don't want big circles. You don't want to just come and like big circles on your nose, especially if you did the nose contour. But I'm going to go down the lines. You could even just use your finger and kind of tap in that brightening highlight. Okay. Your jaw is the one spot where you are bringing the contour down because our shadow is below our chin, you know, down our neck there. So you're going to bring that down. And that is 3D cream foundation. I mean, it might not be the most fullest coverage. I have things here and here that I could go back, but that's a very simple, quick trick. I like to use my smudge brush. It's an eyeshadow brush, and I just dip into my main highlight. And this is buildable, so you can just go and get any little spots that you have. But what I feel like is the biggest difference with Seint Cream is not only the look. I feel like it's so youthful looking, it's dewy, but the feel of it is amazing. It's so soft and gentle on your skin. There's only 11 ingredients in the highlights and the contour. If you see the list of all your other favorite, you know, from Ulta, Sephora, even Target, their ingredient list is like this long, and then Seint's this. So I just feel like the overall look, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. I'm going to finish though with some bronzer because who doesn't love bronzer all year long? This is my blush and bronzer brush. I'm going to click into, let's see, Bella. Bella is, she's the girl. She's the one. Same thing though. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, my contour went the top of my forehead and down the bottom. So it kind of made a C. So right here, if you can see, there's a C. Bella is going to be another C, but within that one. So it's going to be a smaller C. So it's going to be like the high points of my forehead. Okay, and I could have done a row of Bella to make a real just one layer, but I actually like the look of first blending my highlights and my contour first. I prefer that. So you do you though. And then you're going to get your high points of your cheek. So here's that smaller C within the contour. Okay. Your contour is the outside, and then the bronzer is a little bit smaller on the higher points of your face. Okay. And I like to just kind of stipple this on, and you're like, wait, those are both brown. Look at this. This was my contour. And then this is my bronzer. This is more cool. It's going to give shadows. It's my contour. But your bronzer is warm, and it is going to give you a glow. It's going to liven up your face a little bit, but it's also more sheer. So Bella bronzer, here's my C that I'm going to do on my forehead and on my cheek. Bella bronzer is not going to give you the same coverage as the highlights and your contour. Those are full coverage. But the bronzer is a little bit more sheer. And it also works with any foundation system. So if you've just been looking for a bronzer, a cream bronzer, Bella is, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Okay, so I'm going to flip over my brush to the really soft, light side. And I like to always finish with this. I feel like it just kind of a little airbrush because, I mean, no filters here. Seint is the filter. Okay, so I bring it there. I also like to bring it down my neck just to make sure, especially if your neck and your face don't match, you want to marry those. We don't want to be wearing masks any longer. Okay, I also will get my ears. Don't forget about those, girls. And just the fluffy side, just kind of finish it. If you want, you could do your chin, even your nose, anywhere where the sun would go. All right, I am going to actually do another tutorial after. I'm gonna get my eyes done. But if I wanted to stop here, I could. I don't even have any blush on, but I can't. I love my Seint makeup. So if you want help building your own personal palette, send me that color match photo. It's completely free. Send it in Messenger. However is easiest for you to message me. If you're on YouTube, you could even just comment, go to my link tree. I'll put it in the description. But look at the eyeshadows and the lip and cheeks, and I love it. If you're ready to jump on board, this is such a viral makeup right now and for a reason. Other makeup companies are jumping on the creams because there's nothing better. All right. Brittany Parker out. Thank you.